friends, I am back to kick off Battleathon week 2. I cannot believe that we've already gone a week into Battleathon. And this week is the very exciting week where your points are going to be derived from your star rating. So the better you rate a book, the more points that you get. I am ready to rack up some points this week. But I didn't just want to do like your regular old reading vlog where I just pick some random books. No, we can't do that. We can't do that. So we're going to do two things in this video. The first is that I will be spinning for what team is going to be getting my points. Because there are 4 different teams and I am not on a team, I want to make sure that I am spreading out the points as equally and as fairly as possible. Since I don't know how many books I'm going to get to this week, spinner wheel seemed like the way to go. We have all of the teams and then we also have emoji on here as well. If I get emoji, I will be putting up random emojis for my patrons to choose from, and that will select which team gets the points. So that's not all. This is also going to be the week of sequels. And I have a lot of sequels that are 5-star predictions. I have one sequel in particular that I absolutely have to read this week. So I hope that I'm able to get it on the list. But with the help of Cassidy and Lexi, I decided that this week you guys are going to be choosing what I read. So I have got a list of sequels, things that I have been really needing to get to for a while. And whatever team lands on the wheel is going to get 2 choices of sequels for me to read. They will be able to select via the emoji in their team chat for an undetermined amount of time, and then whatever wins I will be reading for that team. Now the caveat to this is I hope that they pick books that they think I'm gonna like, because if I like it, I get more points for their team. If they pick the mean option, then they're just gonna be the ones suffering with lower points. So hopefully everyone is nice to me. Hopefully I get to read some books that I'm really going to love this week, but I'm excited. So we need to spin the wheel and see which team is going to be first up for the polls. Let me lower you guys down so you can see. All right, so the very first team for week 2 is going to be just keeps going. The blue team. All right. So the Blue Dragons are going to be choosing my first sequel. I am going to go look at the options that I have, see what I am hoping to get up first, and I'm going to go give them a poll. I will let you guys know what they pick. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the first day of week 2. I did spin a little bit early yesterday because I needed to know what I was going to be reading for the beginning of today, but then I realized that the blue team chose a physical book only. Let me go grab it and show you what blue team chose really quickly. Blue Dragons had the choice between Battle Drum by Sarah L. Arifi and Grey Sister by Mark Lawrence. They are obviously going to choose the one that is the most likely to be a 5-star, and that is Grey Sister. I'm so excited to read this one. It won by a landslide in the Blue Dragon chat, so definitely excited to read this. I am reading and annotating this because I'm doing a spoiler vlog for the whole series that will come out once Backlist is done with it. There's a lot surrounding this book. It's going to be this week. It's the spoiler vlog. It's also the Backlist book club pick, and we will be doing that live show on Sunday, so you will probably see this vlog around the same time or just shortly before that live show. So if you have not already, if you've read this book and you want to go hang out with us, I will link the link somewhere for you guys to check it out, but I'm not sure whose channel it's going to be on yet. So this is going to be my first read, my physical read for the blue team, but I also need an audiobook. So that means that we get to spin again nice and early this morning to see which team is going to be choosing my next read. Okay. Looks like it is going to be the black team that will be choosing for my audiobook read. I have no idea what I'm going to give them to choose from yet. Obviously something that I can find an audiobook for. I have a whole list of sequels on my phone of things that I really want to get to. So I will take a peek at that, see what I've got to work with, and let you guys know once they choose and once I have read a little bit of Grey Sister. I'm not going to be doing spoilers obviously in this vlog. This will just be my general thoughts and feelings. But then there will be, like I said, a spoiler vlog coming out once we're done with Holy Sister. So I've got some errands to run today. I need to return a couple of things. I need to go to Isam's Orchard because, you guys, they have the best, they call it apple cider. It's like an apple cider slushie, but all it is pure apple juice in a slushie, and oh my goodness, it is absolutely incredible. incredible, and they have just started putting them out as of last week, and it's so fall, and we're gonna go, and I'm very excited. So I will give you guys some B-roll of that, obviously, because who doesn't want to see an apple cider slushie?
Let's just do what you want to. Please don't be polite, cause I like your attitude. Let's forget about a curfew, cause all that is stuck in my head. It's me and you, both speeding, my heart is racing, but I'm not sure I wanna pace it, cause it only does this with you. Our bodies meet, I can feel the tension, move us into the next dimension. Let's just let our bodies be true. We make out for the thrill of it, mess around for the thrill of it. Don't stop now, never let this end. For the thrill of it, we can have it, no regret. We make out for the thrill of it, mess around for the thrill of it. Don't stop now, never let this end. For the thrill of it, we can have it, no regret.
Hello friends, I am coming after a long, very exhausting day at work to tell you that I'm 100 pages into Grey Sister. This is the sequel that the Blue Dragons picked for me. It was either this or the Battle Drum by Sarah El Arafi, and it actually won pretty heavily with 90 votes and Battle Drum having 23 votes, so definitely a winner here. This is the sequel to Red Sister, which is part of the Book of the Ancestor series by Mark Lawrence. If you have no idea what Grey Sister is about, it's following Nona, who is a young girl in a village, and she gets accused of trying to murder or murdering a lord or duke or somebody in a lot of power. The abbess of the Covenant of Sweet Mercy hears about her and decides to take her into the Covenant and become one of the assassin nuns. The first book centers primarily around a school setting and learning more about the world and the magic. We have several different bloodlines. I think it's 3 different bloodlines, and each one has a little bit of a different focus, a little bit of a different strength. Nona has a really primary strength of strength, essentially, and I loved the school setting in the first book, and that definitely follows over into the second book in the series. It definitely focuses a lot on relationships and friendships and how friendships mold people, but there is not a dark undertone, but a mildly dark undertone, especially to Nona. She's just one of my favorite characters in fantasy. She is bloodthirsty, but sarcastic, but also loyal to a fault. And I think that she's just so well written and so relatable. And I love her as a character. That is not any different in this one. I still think you can really see Nona's personality coming through and how she has grown. This one is about a 3-year time jump from the first book in the series. So we have seen Nona age up a decent bit from, I think when the book ended, she may have been like 12, 13, and now she's a teenager, and I think that that was a really good progression. You can definitely see that in this book. It does have a little bit of a slow start, honestly, all of them do, where we're kind of setting the stage. I didn't remember this one being as slow as I feel like it was this time. I'm still loving it, but I can see where some people might have a little bit of a hard time with just the setup and, again, setting the stage. But there's a new added character in here that I absolutely love, a trope that I absolutely love, and I anticipate this being a 5-star. When I read Red Sister the first time, I can't remember if it was a high 3 or a low 4-star, but on reread I gave it a 5, and then this one I originally gave a high 4-star, so I would be shocked if it wasn't a 5-star. So good looking out, Blue Dragons. You guys have hopefully picked a winner for your team. But I'm gonna go, like I said, I'm annotating this one, and I do need to get a pretty good chunk into this because the live show for the Backlist Book Club is going to be on Sunday, and we are all reading this series, so I need to get on it so that I am ready for the live show on Sunday. So I'm gonna go, and I will chat with you guys probably more like the halfway point. I think I'll check in again. Good evening, friends. I'm here to talk to you about Fire Falling. I have read more of this than I meant to before updating you guys. I typically like to update you around like 50, 60 pages, then again at halfway, then again at the end. Yeah, I'm halfway through this book. I forgot to update you. Whoops. That means that I am enjoying this. I am having a good time with it. It is definitely so easy to read. It is so bingeable. And the whole series, I think, is going to be like that. It is a YA series, and so there are moments where I want a little bit more from it, but the angst and just the character moments are really good in here. I do really appreciate that. The one thing that I think I'm having a little bit of a harder time with at the current moment is that I want there to be a little bit more plot. This one is focusing a lot on the romance, which is fine, but book one didn't focus as much on the romance, so I guess I was expecting this one to continue on with more of the plot. If you guys have no idea what this series is about, the first book is Air Awakens, and Air Awakens is following Vala, and she is a librarian. She has gone to the castle to study under and to catalog books, and she's from like one of the, I don't remember if it's Western towns, but anyway, a very small town. And they do have sorcerers, and sorcerers are considered to be kind of scary for everybody. They keep them at a distance and they don't really understand them, and you have to go to, I think it's like the Black Tower or something, if you're a sorcerer, to learn how to be one and control your magic. But you can also choose to push it away and not become a sorcerer as well. And one day Vala is sparked and realizes that she is a very rare type of sorcerer. Most of the magic in here is elements based, and she is a very rare air sorcerer. And so, of course, she's gonna have to try to navigate this, decide what she wants to do about it, learn how to control her magic if she decides to keep it. And there is a young prince who is helping her through all of this. There's a war in this, and it's kind of on the background in book one. I was hoping that would be a little bit more at the forefront into book two, but this has focused a lot on the romance. I like the romance. I really like Aldrich. I think that he is a very cool, very level-headed, but also brooding and mysterious main love interest. He reads a lot older than Vala, though. She's supposed to be 18, but she reads more like 16 to me, and he reads more like 25, 26. And so there is a decent age gap between them. I think they said it was like 7 years, so it makes sense that they do have a discrepancy in age. But she just reads younger, I think, than I would expect her to. And so that is bothering me just a little bit because it's just very apparent to me. And there are a lot of things that are very teenage, whereas he's not acting like a teenager and she is. I wish that it wasn't quite as much of a discrepancy. A lot of like miscommunication, not talking things out, her being very hurt and upset by things that someone that is older and a little more mature and experienced in relationships would not be upset about or would just ask about. So that part is kind of, yeah, not my favorite, but at the same time, it's so bingeable because there is so much angst. So I'm not even really sure that I can consider that a huge negative because so much angst. But I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. I am a lot, like I said, further into it than I meant to be. I'm just over halfway. So I will check back in with you guys once I am done with this one. But I believe that this is the one that the Black Dragons chose for me to read. So we'll see if they made a good decision in the end. They had the choice between this and the Hawkling. So hopefully they get lots of points for their team. Hi friends, if you've been watching Sprints, then you know that David has a love affair with the wheel, and he cannot stand the fact that I am spinning the wheel. As you can hear him, like, he can't hear me. Thank you, okay. He can't stand the fact that I'm spinning the wheel when he's not here. Therefore, I have told him that he can spin the wheel for my third book for the sequels to decide which one of the dragons are going to be able to tell me which sequel to read or vote on which sequel to read. So I guess without further ado, let's flip it over to David so we will find out which dragon is going to be choosing my third read.
I didn't know that. I thought they were just colors.
No, the colors are the dragons.
Colors are not colors.
No, the colors are the
Is there a
dragons.
red
Wait,
dragon?
you gotta come down a little. You're a
Is there
little
a
blurry.
blue and a black and a red dragon and a
Yes,
green dragon?
Yes.
What about, there's not an emoji dragon.
Well, the emoji is because there were not enough things to fill it up, and so the Patreons get to decide if by emoji poll.
So if it lands on emoji, then they get to decide?
Yes,
I'm
bring it
pulling for
down a little.
emoji.
It's a little too.
Pulling for emoji.
Okay, you got this.
Let's go, emoji.
You can't clap and hold the wheel at the same time. Is it red?
Red.
Red!
See, we're gonna give them choices too,
No,
like we're
we
gonna
don't
give
need
everybody
choices
else
for that one.
choices. do choices on this too.
Red will be choosing my third book. He cannot keep spinning. We're not gonna let him keep spinning. I'm gonna go take the wheel away.
He's red.
I'm gonna
emoji!
I'm
It
gonna-
landed on emoji! It's emoji!
I'm gonna go take this wheel away. I'll be back. Good evening, everyone. I have now finished Fire Falling by Elise Kova. This is the book that the Black Dragons chose for me to read. It was up between this and The Hawkling, and I'm really glad that they ended up picking this one. I thought for sure that they were going to pick The Hawkling, but I am so glad now that I have finished this book that they chose this one, because not only is it just an easy, really fun read, but it's a great palate cleanser, and actually I think this is a really good series. When we checked in about the halfway point, you might have felt that I was like liking it, but not absolutely loving it. It felt like a 3-star. That's kind of where I was at about midway through this book. But in the end, some things happened. They were an emotional gut punch. I felt like the characters really grew and got to know one another a lot better, which was my primary complaint in about midway through the book, as I just felt like we had a lot of surface level interactions. But that really deepened in the latter half of this book. Like I said, something happened that just got me in the feels, and it made me realize that she writes some really good secondary characters as well, and I really, really liked the latter half of this. So I think that this is going to be a 4-star, which is going to get 400 points for the Black Dragons. The Black Dragons, I think, are previous 5-star author. Either way, unfortunately, this one's not going to get any bonus points. It will just be the 400 points, but so glad I read it, had a great time with it, and now we are going to get the Red Dragons to pick what they want my next sequel to be. They had the choice between Golden Sun and Blood Solace, which is the sequel to Blood Mercy, and I have not looked at that poll yet to see exactly what's winning, so once I do look at that and see what's winning, I will come back, check in with you guys, but I think it's going to be Golden Sun.
Hello, how are you? I think we want you want it cold? Mm-hmm. A toffee dulce, how do you say that? And a midnight mocha sugar-free.
Okay.
You too, thank you. That looks fantastic. Yeah, they both do.
Hi guys, it is a little bit later than I meant to be filming this clip. We were on sprints and it turned very chaotic, so I'm 130 pages into Grey Sister, and I'm trying to remember what I was going to say about this book, because I know that there were things that I wanted to say, and then I didn't sit down and film them exactly when I thought it, and now I'm forgetting what I was going to say. One of the things that I was going to say is that we get the perspective of Abyss Glass in this for a couple of different chapters, and I think that I like that addition. I think that we did get a little bit from her in Red Sister, but not a lot, but you could still tell that she was like a prominent character. But she is getting points of view, and I think it's just a way to introduce us to some conversations and things that Nona wouldn't necessarily be privy to, and that way we're kind of still getting the big picture, even though we're mostly following Nona, so I can appreciate that. I really like Abyss Glass, so I don't mind being in her head. However, they talked about Abyss Glass and that she had a son that passed away when he was 8 years old, and I don't know if I skipped over that fact completely in book 1, if it wasn't really mentioned in book 1, but it's become a very conversational thing. Like, it's been mentioned 2 or 3 different times now, how she was called Mother, but now after he passed, she is called the Abyss instead, and that's a very big, like, sticking point mentioned at one point, and I'm just like, I'm trying to remember if that was even mentioned in the first book, but it's not like it happened in the 3 years, because he was 8 years old, and then she talks about how he would now have kids of his own. So there was a lot of time, and I don't really know where I missed that conversation. I probably just missed it completely, but if not, it kind of came out of left field in book 2. But I think that that's mostly what I was gonna say. I have definitely gotten to some of the snarky moments between Quixote and Nona, and I really, really like those moments. I think that they are hilarious. At one point, Quixote says that he would help Nona if she would allow him access to her body so that he could kill someone, and he didn't care who it was, he just wanted to kill someone. And I just think that that's I don't know. I don't know what it says about me that I like that kind of character, but I do. I think it's highly entertaining. I think that that's all, though, that I had to say for this update. I'm not, like I said, a lot further into it than I was before. I really wanted to get to 150 pages in this, but for some reason, I feel like somebody has hit me with a Mack truck, and so I'm probably going to go to bed and just pick this up tomorrow, but I do need to make a pretty good dent in this because it's Tuesday, and the live show is in, like, Sunday, like 5 days. So I do need to make a pretty good dent in this tomorrow. That's going to be priority. So yeah, I've got nothing else to say. I'll talk to you later. Okay guys, so time for 2 updates, and hopefully you can't hear my laundry going in the background. Ollie decided while I was at work today that his favorite place to get sick would be on my bed, and I thought I was just going to be able to wash like the comforter. Nope, gotta wash everything. So fingers crossed I actually get to sleep in my bed tonight, but while that's running, I figured that I would update you guys on a couple of things. First is I am now halfway into Grey Sister, still loving it, still think that it's great. I really like Nona's character development in here. We see her kind of grow from a naive child to more of a woman, and I think that it's interesting a little bit of the foreshadowing we're getting. I think it's interesting how still easily influenced Nona is, but also how she takes charge of things. And I, like I said, am really, really enjoying that. There's definitely been a lot in here that I have forgotten for sure, like the sequence of events. I don't remember anything like that. We're also getting the point of view of Abbess Glass in this one, who is the like leader of the convent. And I think that that's an interesting point of view. It's not much, they're just kind of scattered throughout, but it's a good way to kind of let us know what's going on the other side, not just through Nona's eyes. But I still love that she has so many really strong relationships and strong friendships. I love her relationship with some of the sisters, and I think it's great. Still a little slower than I remember it being, but now that we're at the halfway point, some things are going to change, and I think that it's going to speed up quite a bit. And then I also wanted to tell you guys that I am now, let's see, how far am I into Golden Sun? Because I tried to listen to a pretty good bit of this today. I am currently 28% into Golden Sun. This is also a reread for me. 2 rereads, 1 vlog. I never reread. This is shocking. But obviously Golden Sun is the sequel to Red Rising. Red Rising is about Darrow, who is a red, and reds are used to terraform Mars, or so they think, so that everyone else can come to Mars from a dying Earth. Well, come to find out that they aren't exactly terraforming. It has already been terraformed, and they are basically slaves to the golds, and golds are like the bigger, better, stronger, faster. And so Darrow is a part of the Reds, and when something happens, someone becomes a martyr, his whole life gets turned upside down, and he's forced to become a gold and try to overthrow the golds from the inside out, essentially. I feel like that's a terrible way of putting it, but it's a revenge story while also being very political and also pretty sci-fi heavy. I feel like most people know what Red Rising is about, so hopefully you do too. But the sequel, Golden Sun, it definitely follows all of the events that happened from Red Rising and amps up the politics and like the sci-fi battles quite a bit. We've kind of laid the groundwork now, and it's more about the political maneuverings and how different actions are going to shape the overall outcome of everything. I'm still enjoying Golden Sun quite a lot. I actually only gave this a 3-star when I first read it. I thought it was a 4, but it was not. It was a high 3. As I'm rereading this, I can see why I probably gave it a 3 at the time of reading it. Now I think I can appreciate it a lot more, so I do think it will be a 4-star. It feels like a 4-star to me, but the beginning is very like breakneck. We open with big action, and I'm not a huge fan of opening with big action. I don't mind you having some action. I don't necessarily want you to start with just talking, but at the same time, I do kind of like the scene to be set a little bit before we just bam. With it being a sequel, doesn't bother me as much, but it did take me a second to be like, okay. And then we slow way down in the first part, and we do a lot more setup. And so I did get a little bit of whiplash between the huge intro and the slower start throughout the first part, which I kind of wish had been done in reverse, but that's okay. Now that we're getting into part 2, though, I'm liking it as much as I expected that I would, which, again, is thoroughly enjoying it. We're getting more political moverings. Darrow is kind of going off of his rocker, which I feel like is something that Darrow just does very, very well. And we're seeing all of these, like, rivalries and things develop. I'm really enjoying that, and I'm excited to keep reading. I am listening to the audiobook of it again, but I have slowed down the speed a pretty good bit because the narrator does have an accent. The accent does not bother me, but I feel like when I'm reading it faster, like my normal 2.75 3x speed, it's very easy for the words to get jumbled together and me to miss things. So I have slowed it down, and it'll probably take me a little bit longer because of that, but I don't think it'll be too much longer. Anyway, I think that's everything. I am going to go see if my sheets are done because it's 8 o'clock and I need to go to bed in 2 hours. And if I can't get them out of the washer in about the next 10 minutes, I'm not going to be sleeping on my bed tonight. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Update for all of you wondering, I am going to get to sleep in my bed tonight. Yes, I have changed shirts, but I am going to get to sleep in my bed tonight. I'm very excited. I got my sheets dry. I did not get the comforter dry, but that's okay because I did find another comforter that I could use. I was just so glad that I got my sheets dry. So I'm going to go to bed in my newly fresh washed sheets, and I will talk to you guys about Golden Sun tomorrow. Obviously that's the one that Red Team picked. I don't think that I've said that yet, but that is the one that Red Team picked. So I'll check in with you guys tomorrow on that one. Hi everyone. I am here to give you guys the standings for week 2. This is going to be where you are placed for the readathon going into week 3. So in week 3, just to kind of remind you guys how a bracket system works, the 1st and 4th place will go up against each other, and that's the only person that you're trying to beat is the one that you're matched up against. And then 2nd and 3rd place will go up against one another. The winners from each of those games, each of those matches, will then move on to be able to compete for 1st and 2nd place. The runners-up or the losers of those 2 brackets will go on to battle for 3rd and 4th place. Everyone starts at 0 again for week 3, so this is just a reminder that if you are submitting anything for week 2, it's not going to count toward your week 3 standings. Everyone is starting over at 0, clean slate moving into week 3. So let me just give you guys really quickly the standings, where everyone is at, and their placements going into the 3rd week. So in 1st place, we have the Red Team. They were doing so well in the 1st week. They continue to do it strong in the 2nd week. So they will be number 1, and they will be matched up against the 4th place team, which will be the Blue Team. Red and Blue will be going head to head to see which one is going to be the winner and get in the 1st place bracket. Then for 2nd place, we had the Black Team. Black Team came in 2nd, and they will be going up against, obviously, the Green Team in 3rd place, head to head to decide, again, who's moving into that 1st place bracket. So I will give you guys a nice little visual up here so you can see where everyone is at. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to ask them in the Discord or in the comments of this video. But congratulations, everyone. These are your standings. Good luck on week 3. I don't think my AC pump is ever gonna turn off. I've been sitting here for like 5 minutes waiting on it to turn off, and it's just keeps going. Oh my goodness, finally that thing decided to shut off. This is what I get for living in the South, where there is so much humidity that the condensation pump has to run for 3 minutes to get all of the water out of my house. Anyway, I have an update for Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. I finally got my hardcover copy in the mail. I've been trying to collect the hardcovers of them. The paperbacks are fine, but they're kind of short and tightly bound, and they're not my favorite. So anyway, since I listened to these on audio, I wanted to collect the hardcovers. And I'm about 60% into this so far, and I'm really liking the 2nd half more than the first, like, 3rd. I wouldn't say more than the first half, because I think it was just mostly until we got to part 2. But I'm really liking the 2nd half of this. We have had a lot of expansion into the Howlers and all of their relationships with Darrow, and I think that Pierce Brown just does an incredible job in this 2nd book, really expanding and delving deep into some of those relationships and into how Darrow handles things and how people react to the way that he handles things, because obviously Darrow's been through some shit, and so he doesn't always react appropriately, and I just think there's been some really good conversations kind of reining him back in. There are some scenes in this that are some of my absolute favorite. First of all, the dinner party scene. If you know, you know about the dinner party scene. That's all I'm gonna say because I don't want it to be spoilery, but the dinner party scene. And then also really liked the scorpion scene. I'm trying to be vague because if I just say that, you're gonna have no idea what I'm talking about, but if you've read the book, then you're gonna know what I'm talking about. And again, there will be a spoiler like review for all of these coming on my channel, but it will be a little while, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, read the book and then you can watch the spoiler review and we can all gush about it together. But I just think that there's been some really good conversations between Darrow and all of his relationships, and I think that the politics have really expanded. You are getting to see who Darrow is going to become and him struggle with who he's becoming versus who he was, and I'm really enjoying that aspect of the story. I think that it's extremely well done, and it's a hard thing to do, and Pierce Brown is doing it beautifully. So having a great time, obviously. I do think this still feels like a 4-star to me at the moment, even though I'm loving it and there's definitely things that feel 5-star worthy to me. At the current moment, there's just something missing that is keeping me from giving it the full 5 stars. Maybe I'll find what's missing before we get to the end. I'm not really sure what it is exactly. It may just be a me thing because I have been, as you guys know, really busy at work. I've had to do some scheduling changes and it is kicking at my tail. It was not a good month to do this in September during Battleathon, where I'm trying to read so much and I'm trying to do so many sprints. It's just been a long couple of weeks. So it could be me and not the book that's keeping it from getting a 5-star, which I hate because I want the 5-star, but at the same time, there's just something preventing the 5-star feels. And I don't know what it is yet, but if I figure it out, I will let you guys know. But I have not really read any more of Grey Sister tonight either since I last talked to you guys. Again, gonna be on sprints tonight. I feel like there's sprints every single day. Actually, I think there have been sprints every single day. And I'll read some more of that tonight. I'm also considering going to At Home tomorrow and looking to see what all kind of like Halloween and fall decorations that they have, because I got David to get mine out of the attic the other day because I'm going to be doing a like fall reset. You guys will get to watch me decorate. We're going to talk about my fall like reading plans and video plans. I do some content planning, that kind of thing. But anyway, that's coming the video after this vlog, I think. Not a spider. Okay. And when I had David pull everything out of the attic, it just did not seem like as much as I thought it was going to be. And I feel like I need all of the fall decorations. So the fact that I don't have enough means that I need to go buy more, right? Right. So I'm going to go do that hopefully tomorrow, and I will take you guys with me if I do decide to go do that. But yeah, for now, I think I'm going to get off of here, go try to read some more, just relax and decompress from the day. Okay guys, so I am doing a very sneaky check-in from work. Don't tell anybody, but I have just finished Golden Sun and I think I'm gonna give this one a 4-star. So it will get the Red Dragons 400 points, and then it is a backlist title, so it will give the Red Dragons an extra 10 points. So congratulations to the Red Dragons for picking a great book. I'm very excited to finish that one. I will give you guys a more like extensive update on that when I get home, but I did just want to check in and let you know. I want to try to squeeze in one more book, and obviously I did not bring the traveling wheel with me because I did not think that I was going to get done. So I'm going to do a quick spin on my computer and we will see which dragons are going to get to choose my last and final sequel. I am going to be doing novellas for this one, so it will likely either be Evershore, which is the last novella I think I need in the Skyward series by Brandon Sanderson, or it will be the Dispatcher sequel, which is by John Scalzi, and that is, or Scalzi, and that is a sci-fi type novella series on Audible. So those will be the two choices for whichever team gets to pick. So I guess let's just spin really quickly and see which team is going to be choosing for me. Okay, sorry, I had to pull up my screen share for that. So let's see really quickly which dragons are going to be choosing for my final book of week 2. So it's the Black Dragons. So the Black Dragons will be choosing my final read. Like I said, it's going to be a novella, and I'm going to go put up the poll for them, and I'll check back in with you guys once I know what they've picked for me. Okay, so I am now off of work. I just went to Starbucks and I was really hoping they would have one of those spooky Halloween cups that I keep seeing everywhere, like the green one with like the slime coming down of it. I really wanted that one, but my Starbucks did not have any spooky cups in stock, which kind of stinks, but I'll keep on the lookout for them. So I did decide to grab me my first hot coffee from Starbucks, I think, of the season, caramel macchiato. That's just kind of my go-to. I like that one, and the white chocolate mocha, both of those are go-to, and I wasn't really feeling pumpkin today, so grabbed me one of those. And I wanted to talk to you guys really quickly about Golden Sun. As you saw probably previously while I was sneaking in an update at work, I never do that, but I was able to today. Gave this one a 4-star. I ended up really enjoying it. I did like it better than Red Rising, but whereas Red Rising, I almost felt like I liked the beginning better and it fell off for me a little bit at the end. This one I struggled a little bit more more in the beginning and it got stronger for me at the end, which is good because I think going into Morningstar, I would rather be excited at the end of the story. This one does focus a lot more on the politics and on kind of the maneuverings and the howlers, whereas the first one definitely is a lot more setup, and I quite liked that about the sequel. I think that the politics and the space wars are a really cool thing to have in this story, and the relationships between Darrow and the howlers and how his character has developed over the course of just 2 books is absolutely incredible. I think that that is really well done, and I'm excited to continue on into Morningstar. I don't really want to say a whole lot more than that because this is a spoiler-free vlog, and I don't want to give you guys any spoilers for Golden Sun, but I will say, as everyone has always said in the past, if you liked Red Rising but didn't love it, if you liked the writing and kind of the concept, but it was just mediocre for you, I would still try Golden Sun and give Golden Sun until part 2. I know that that is asking a lot of people for the series, but I do think that it is worth it, and you might really like Golden Sun a lot better. So that's my 2 cents. And I have now put up a poll for the Black Dragons to pick what I am going to be listening to for the rest of the day. I still have half of Grey Sister to read, so I have a lot to do. And I really want a nap. Like, I really, really want a nap. But I have a lot to do, so I'm going to head home. They did pick for me to read the Brandon Sanderson, I think it was Evershore, which is the novella that you're supposed to read after Cytonic before whatever the last one is called. The 4th one that comes out in November. So I needed to listen to it anyway. I don't really remember much. I think it'll all come to me as I start listening, but I'm gonna start that and I will check back in with you guys once I've finished Grey Sister and probably finished Evershore. It's really short, so I don't know if I'll give like a midway update on that one. But so far, this week is going pretty well. Hello friends, I just got some packages and I wanted to unbox these for you guys while also telling you a little bit more about Evershore. So quickly, let me undo these because I think I know what all of these are. The first one is a package from Lexi. If you guys don't know, Lexi makes bookmarks and she is currently selling the ones for Halloween, which is a readathon that happens every month in October. Every weekend in October, every month in October, every weekend in October. And so I have bought 2 of the Halloween, no, I bought 1 of the Halloween bookmarks, and it looks like she sent me 2 more. I thought I ordered 2. I can't remember what I ordered. I know for sure that this is one of the Halloween bookmarks, and I ordered this one. So it is super cute. These are laminated, double-sided. This is like the pattern that is on Halloween this year. There's also a orange one. And then she also sent me, I don't remember if I ordered this one or not. I think I might have ordered this one, but this is one of the like Christmas ones, and it is still spooky themed, double-sided. And then these 2 are single-sided that she sent me. This one is cats, love cats, and then this one is like the Christmas spooky one. So definitely love these. Thank you, Lexi, so much for sending these to me. And then I also have got 2 packages. One is a Barnes & Noble pre-order. There we go. And that is Fall of Wrath and Ruin by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I just love this cover and how shiny it is. I decided not to get the Barnes & Noble edition because it's red and I just really liked the blue cover. This one is way shorter than I thought it was. I mean, it's 400 pages, but I don't know why. I was anticipating it to be a lot thicker than it is. And then I also ordered, right after I finished Fire Falling, I went ahead and ordered Earth's End. This is the 3rd book in the Air Awakens series, and I'm so excited to have this and read it very, very soon. So this is my little, whoops, haul for you guys. Other than that, I just wanted to talk to you guys really quickly because I did finish Evershore by Brandon Sanderson, and I'll pop the cover up here because I know that one was co-written. I liked this novella. I'm not a huge novella person, but I did definitely want to squeeze in 1 more book for this vlog, and I needed to read this one before Defiant in November anyway, because technically speaking, you don't have to read the novellas, but they are encouraged to read. This one is following one of Spence's dear friends, shall we say, and Evershore is like 3.5, so it's kind of down the line. So I'll tell you what Skyward is about. Skyward follows Spencer, who is always wanted to be a pilot, and she has always been told that she can't be because her dad died a coward, or so they think. So she's never really been able to be the pilot that she wants to be, and this is a world where they are on Earth, but Earth is dying, and there is an alien race that is, they believe, trying to kill them. There is also a Doomslug in here, so Doomslug is super, super cool. We love Doomslug. This is a young adult sci-fi series that I really enjoy. I think it is a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun with Evershore as well. Like I said, it was following one of Spence's dear friends and kind of that group of people, not necessarily following Spensa, which is fine. That's the way most of the novellas have been, and I found it entertaining. I found it fun. It was on the longer side. I think the audiobook was like 7 hours, so that's not a super short novella, but I still just found it a little bit repetitive. I didn't find it overly necessary. I think it just gives you a little bit more into the world, which is totally fine, but I don't think, as of right now, it doesn't feel like it was required reading, which is the way I think it's kind of being marketed. I could be wrong when I read Defiant, so don't quote me on that. But it did feel a little bit repetitive at times. It was very, very fast paced, so not a whole lot of like character development, which again, in a novella, I wouldn't expect there to be. It was very entertaining. I like the writing. I think the series is fun. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 3-star from me, and this one was for the Black Dragons, which is a previous 5-star author, therefore they will be getting bonus points for this one. So they will be getting 310 points for the Black team. And so I do need to finish up Grey Sister. As you guys have probably noticed, I have not finished that one yet. It is 6:45 at night, so I really, really need to get on it because I've got a lot left of it. But I anticipate that being a 5-star. So I'm going to go read that for the rest of the night. I will check back in with you guys in the morning, and then we will go over the standings and where everyone is going to rank in week 3. Alright guys, so it is Saturday morning and it is time to wrap up this vlog and give you my final thoughts on Grey Sister. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. That is absolutely no surprise to anyone. It was a 5-star read for me. I just love Mark Lawrence's writing and the way that he brings all of his characters to life. Nona is and will forever be one of my favorite characters in books. I just love her so much. I think that she is badass and cutthroat while also having a soft side and having some really good friendships and relationships that she is able to build in a very nuanced and natural way. And I think that he does that really well for all of his characters. This one is a little bit more action-packed, like in the second half of the story, but it did take a little bit of time to get going. It has another one of my favorite tropes and favorite characters of all time in this that just gives a really good banter to the story and keeps me like laughing, but also laughing at something that I probably shouldn't be laughing at. But I just love this character, and I'm very excited to move on to Holy Sister. If you guys know, this one is a reread for me, but Holy Sister is going to be finishing off the trilogy and is a brand new book for me. I've never read Holy Sister. Very excited to finish off this trilogy. I don't really know that I have anything else to say about this one other than I absolutely loved it. It did lull in spots for me, and I definitely still have some questions, but because I loved this book so much, it's still a 5-star. But there are definitely some things that I was like, wait, I don't really know if that makes a lot of sense to me in regards to where we left off in Red Sister. There were just a few things that I'm interested to talk about in the live show because, as you guys know, this is the Backlist Book Club live show. If you're watching this when it came out, the Backlist Live is happening in just a few hours. And so I'm excited to talk to everyone about this, see if they had similar feelings to me, but overall, loved it. Highly recommend the Book of the Ancestor. Like, this is amazing if you are an epic fantasy fan, if you love shadow companions, or if you love a very sassy but likable main character. So glad to have this one finished. That one is a 5 stars for, I think it was the blue team. 5 stars for the blue team, and I have submitted that, and we are now moving on to week 3. I'm so excited to be moving into week 3. You guys have already seen the standings. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to move into the 3rd week and see how everyone is going to do. Once again, thank you all so very much for watching. Let me know what your favorite read of the week was down in the description box below. If you don't really have anything to say and you just want to let me know that you were here, leave me a sword emoji. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out. As always, links to my Patreon, Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads all in the description box down below. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!